Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all having a wonderful week. Today I'm going to go over the NFL Combine, stock up and stock down. It was a great day, or a great week for every position, and let's just get right into it. QB, stock up. And there's a lot of quarterbacks that had pretty solid days that, helped their stock, but no one did it better than Anthony Richardson, man. Anthony Richardson was legitimately the talk of the town the day of the QBs. He ran a 4.4. He jumped like a 4.2 vertical jump. And then for the broad jump, he jumped like 10 something. It's absolutely crazy. Man's 6'6", 258 pounds or something like that, dude. Absolutely a freak athlete. That's why he's number one on this list of stock up because he's considered either a top five prospect because teams out there need a quarterback, and that's just absolutely crazy. That's what the combine could do to you. I think before like the combine started, he was like 4 or 5. Like Will Levis was definitely above him, and now he's literally number three on QBs, and he's probably gonna get picked in like the fifth top five pick because the quarterback position is more valuable than ever right now. CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud had the best, in my opinion, QB day. And what I mean by QB day is by throwing the ball. Because Anthony Richardson, he had a solid athletic day, showing that he's the best athletic player out there. But CJ Stroud, he had the best throw day, the best throwing sesh at the combine. He did everything perfect. Like his deep ball was there, his mid-range ball was there, his short one was there. The velocity, the ball was popping out of his hand. He just does this so natural, like Dan Jeremiah said. He just got it. He doesn't have to do any. He doesn't have to put any effort into it. He just does it so effortlessly. And next on my list is Barnett, man. Barnett, he balled out. He balled out, and no one's really talking about it. And that kind of got me a little pissed off. He had a absolutely big time day at the combine, man. He, in my opinion, outplayed Will Levis. Definitely outplayed him in the deep ball game, and the ball was just popping out of his hands like better. Like if you watch, I mean, they went out there at the same time, so that's why it gets me a little bit more pissed off too. Is that Barnett and Will Levis were in the same groove. The ball was popping more out of what's it called Bennett's hands than Will Levis. Like towards the end when they did the deep ball, they're like, oh, he had a pretty solid deep deep sesh right here, deep ball throw right here. He had a better oh man, like it's just kind of crazy how underrated this man is, but it is what it is. He knows that he got it, and he's gonna go out there and perform, no matter who believes in him or who or who doesn't. So I have him over Will Levis on stock up. But Will Levis, I'm not trying to take anything away from him because the man did have a solid outing at the combine. My only thing with him is that he was a little inconsistent on that pop when he was throwing the ball. Like sometimes the ball just sling out of his hands. It was just like, yep, that's a nice throw right there. And then the next snap, he literally would be, I don't know, just it'd be like lazy or something. I don't know. It would just be weird. I didn't really like it when he threw the ball like all. I don't know. I can't describe it. Like it's just some snaps the ball came out of his hands really nice, and some other snaps it just didn't. So the little inconsistency for me puts him at 4 on this list of stock up. And number 5 is DTR. DTR, he had a all around solid day. Now he's one of the like lower quarterbacks, in the draft, but he definitely boosted his stock at the combine because he missed a couple of throws, but majority of them were pretty nice. The only question mark for him coming out of the draft is can he get better on the deep ball? Because when he was out there, I mean, to be fair, he was with Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, and a couple of other guys who had a pretty solid analogy, but I think he had a better overall day than all those other guys. But with those other guys, they threw the ball way further down the field than DTR. I think DTR barely got it to the logo or slightly above it, where Anthony Richardson would literally get in it to about the opposite 30-yard line from where he was, and he was throwing for like the 6-yard line. So his 6-yard line all the way down to the opposite side of the field to the 30-yard line, and C.J. Stroud was going either further. I think he got it at most to like the 20-yard line. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, that's my quarterback stock up right here. Bunch of talented quarterbacks, and let's move on to stock down. And now I only have one stock down because majority of the other quarterbacks did get their stock up, but I'm only gonna do like 5 stock up. But so stock down was Max Duggan. He's like the guy that definitely didn't look as good as the other quarterbacks out there. A lot of overthrows, and I just didn't like what I saw from him at the combine compared to all these other people. Barnett was with him, and Will Levis were in this group, and that group in itself is solid, like a solid, only 2 competitors, where DTR was literally going against Will Levis, not Will Levis, C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson and a couple other guys. But Tanner from Stanford, that guy was throwing the ball too. Yeah, Max Duggan just stuck out from like a sore thumb with Will Levis and Barnett. Now stock up. I'm gonna be honest, there weren't any like receivers that had like a bad day. Like I feel like there's so many receivers out there nowadays that have talent. Now it's just a question about how much talent, because there's just so many good players nowadays, and it's just absolutely crazy. But the best player that stuck out to me was, Jixie Smith, Nick Jigba, Nick Jigba, the guy from Ohio State. He should have came out last year, but let his guys go out so he could be a guaranteed first round pick in this year's draft instead of risking to possibly dropping into the second round last year. And I think that was the best decision for him, and it should pay off because he absolutely tore it up at the combine. He's absolute like literally, what was his name? Steve Smith said that this man is a masterclass route runner, and he really showed it over there at the combine. Now Johnson, he I don't think he dropped a single ball, and that was really his question going into the combine was. Oh no, I think he did drop one. He dropped one in the gauntlet. I want to say it was like the third one. He dropped the third one in the gauntlet, the first set, because they do it 2 times. I think it was the third one. Or the third ball, because they do 1, 2, 1, and then 3. I think he dropped one in the gauntlet. But either way, he had to show that he got consistent hands. Believe he only dropped 1 ball, and his route running was pretty solid for a big lengthy guy for him. And yeah, that's really all he needed to show, is that he's consistent with his hands. And obviously, I think he is gonna do a pro day still, so you can mainly focus on him instead of running with a bunch of other receivers. So I can't wait to see his pro day, because you know it's gonna be just him and Max Duggan. I'm pretty sure gonna do it. Maybe Davis. Davis didn't have a good day. But my third receiver on this list that probably is underrated, or I think people are starting to pick up on him, but he's my guy, Jaden Reed. This man is a beast, man. He's a straight beast. Every route that they ran, he did it at a phenomenal level. Like it's just absolutely remarkable. He had an eye issue too. They said it like at the last rep he got. He's like, oh, he has an eye. He's literally running out here with one eye, dude. I think his left eye was closed. I think they said his left eye shut because he had like an infection or something like that. I don't even know. But yeah, it's pretty. I think he caught a majority of the balls too. With one eye. That's pretty crazy, dude. His route running absolutely showed at the combine. Again, like I said, he's my guy, one of my favorite receivers out of this draft. So he's definitely number 3 on this list. And then my 4 is Rashid Rice, man. He ran I want to say a 4.5. Yeah, he ran a 4.5, like 3, 4.53 at a 6 foot like 3 frame. He's a bigger receiver, and when he was out there, man, I was very surprised that he was able to run routes pretty solid, dude. For a big body receiver, he was able to move around and do those routes. And I want to see his film. Like I want to say SMU literally used him as like a slant and like fade guy, but he looked like he could do anything out there. But that's just with no pads, so that's why I gotta go check his film out. Cause man, he legitimately looked like he could run any route on the run any route on the tree. You know, I'm probably saying that stuff wrong, but he just looked really good out there. And then Jalen Heaty, bro, Haiti. I'm probably saying his name wrong, but he's on this list because of his 40-yard dash, man. 40-yard dash, man. That thing was super fast. He ran a 4.5. Oh, that's not him. Where is he at? Where is he at? Oh my God, where is he at? Oh, he went with the first group. He ran a 4.4. But the thing that impressed me from that 40 was just the speed, like his burst, you know, like his 10-yard sprint, bro. And they didn't show it, and I know it don't really matter, but like the beginning of his 40-yard dash was like boom, he just launched out of a cannon, dude. And then like throughout, he obviously went slower, but he launched out of the cannon on his 40-yard dash, and that just really impressed me because like imagine that off the off of the release, dude. Like he's just pacing, and boom, he just explodes and is really deep. That's what impressed me was just that speed, that acceleration from the get go. That's just crazy to see right there. And then we're gonna move up to my stock down. The stock down was Tillman. Tillman did not have a good day. He just didn't. Like he kind of just had like bad luck. Like he fell on a couple of routes, so that's kind of on him for falling. But he had like he just had bad sets. Like sometimes the quarterback would overthrow him or something like that. It was just weird. Like it just wasn't his day. It legitimately was not his day. So his pro day got to be his day to like get something back, because he just definitely did not have a good day at the combine. He's hate to see it because he's a pretty good prospect. He just didn't. It just was not his day at the combine, and it's crazy to see. And Jordan Addison's on this list because I was really, really looking forward to seeing him out there. He's one of my favorite receivers out of this draft, and he ran the 40-yard dash, and then I wanted to watch him run his routes, but he only did like 2 sets, and I was like, wow. And those 2 sets were pretty good, but he was like he was hurting from like some like man, I forgot what it's called. They showed it on the screen, but he's hurting from an injury, or suffering an injury, and that's why he didn't do the combine. So I'm assuming he's gonna wait for the pro day. And I thought that's what he was gonna do, but then he went out for a couple of routes, and then I saw this thing that's saying that he was hurt. Cause I thought like, oh, he would just wait for his pro day, and that's what Zay Flower did too. He's gonna wait for his pro day. I was like, okay, they're gonna wait for their pro days, so like the cameras are just on them, you know. I respect that, you know. Have the cameras just on you, and this is what I'm really good at. And look at me run routes and stuff like that. Because when you're at the combine, it's literally like 50 guys with you, you know, and you just gotta, you're just going, you know. And Jaden Heinz, I'm saying his name absolutely wrong, but he's on this list because he suffered a hamstring injury during the combine. He was running the routes, and towards the end, he kind of disappeared. And I was like, man, where the heck did this man go, man? And it showed that he was suffering a hamstring injury. And I don't think it was anything serious, but any injury at this point is very, very concerning. But he should be good. Like none of these guys' stock like went boom like the bombed. None of their stock bombed. It just took a little dip because everybody else did such a phenomenal job and how deep this receiver class is. And so yeah, their stock just went a little bit down where others just went up, you know. So that's why they're on this list. Still really good talents, and you know they're gonna perform well at their pro days. Anderson's gonna do that, and Tillman should do it because he needs. I mean, he's probably gonna do it, but hopefully he performs really good at his pro day to up his stock. Up his stock. And now this is my 3D. My gosh, my throat's hurting. Talking too much. This is my third round and beyond stock up. So these are guys that you. What? I thought I switched Tank Dell to number one, but this is my receivers that you should know if you watch college football, because you know you got Ron Bell, he played in the championship. You got Keyshawn Bowtide, and you got Hutchinson. You know, if you're watching that Purdy film all of a sudden now, I wonder why, but yeah. So these are guys that you should know of. They're really good players, but they're not like, I don't want to like take anything away from them, because all these players, all these receivers are really talented in their own way, but the big name guys are just up above them right as of right now. Because when you're in the NFL, none of this matters. You just gotta go out there, outwork everybody, and go perform. You know, it's all even field. No matter where you get drafted, first round, third round, sixth round. You know, it don't matter. Just go out there and go perform, ball out. You know, and then people would, you know, do all that stuff. So right, on accident, I put Tank Dell number two, but Tank Dell definitely is performed very nice. Man's 5'8", ran pretty fast. I didn't mark down what he ran. I don't know why I didn't do that, but his route running definitely show definitely showed up in his hands. And he was going like Davis was going before him, and then it was him. And I kept thinking Davis was Tank Dell. I was just like, man, that's no, there's no way Tank Dell is dropping on these balls. You know, he was because Davis definitely did not have a good day. He's from TCU. He's the speedster for TCU. But I was like, man, no way that's Tank Dell. But yeah, Tank Dell had a phenomenal night. His route running popped out big time compared to the majority of players out there. He had solid hands. I don't think he dropped one ball. He literally dropped one ball, and it was on the warm up one, the first set that they do, where it's literally, you know, you just jog. You don't necessarily have to jog, but you just cruising, turn your head, look, find the ball, catch it, you know, and then that that set is literally just to warm you up, see how focused, how dialed in you are on the session, and just get your hands warmed up. And you know, some people took that set too lightly, and you know, they would just cruise it, like jog it, and then the ball would be way over their head, and they'd be like, "What the heck?" And it's just like you gotta be dialed in, and you gotta find that football and catch it, you know. And Take Dell was one of the guys that was just cruising it, and then he didn't catch the ball. The ball just popped out of his hands, and it was just like, oh man. And he was the only guy that dropped off football on that set, so it's pretty funny. He didn't drop a single ball after that, but he dropped one ball on the warm up set. but he's number one on my list. I just put him on number two, but he's number one. Very solid route running, or really good route running, phenomenal hands. And then number two would be, yeah, I have this like everywhere. Number two for me would be Keyshawn. He really impressed me in the route running skill, in the route running when they were doing routes. He did not do phenomenal in the 40 yard dash. Where did he run? He ran. Oh my gosh, where'd he go? He was with the first group. Oh yeah, he was with the first group. He ran a 4.5, and this is unofficial, but he ran a 4.5 the first set, and then he ran a 4.67 the second set. I don't know his official. Should probably look it up, but yeah, his 40-yard dash did not look phenomenal, but on film he definitely has that speed, that breakaway speed. But his route running looked really good in those drills. And I liked what I saw from that. And Hutchinson, Xavier Hutchinson, he's one of the guys that I liked coming out of this draft. He's for sure a pro, an NFL ready receiver, a senior guy coming out. He stayed one more year at Iowa State. He didn't need to, but he decided to, and he should be a pretty solid guy in the NFL. And yeah, he just had he just had a good combine. You know, he had a good combine where he didn't have any negatives. He just had nothing but positive from Hutchinson. And then Mingo, he ran a pretty solid 40 as well for a big body guy. He ran a 4.46, so he ran 4.46 both times. That's pretty good for a big body guy. And his route running was pretty solid all around. Um, yeah, he just had a solid day. Like I said, all these guys, legitimately, like there's just so many receivers out there at the combine that had really really good night, a really good day over there at the combine. It's really hard to like. I mean, those guys on the first line, those guys are really talented players, but everybody else is they're really good players, man. They're really solid players. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I just want to say that the receiver classes nowadays are just all talent, just really stacked. And Ron Bell, uh, he had a really solid night. He had an incredible catch with one hand. I believe it was on the zig. Like he tripped and the ball kind of went a little far ahead of him, and he caught it with one hand. That was a really impressive catch by him. And he just had a solid night. Like him and Hutchinson just had it just a good day at the combine. And the next slide is, guys that you may not have heard of, and the guy from BYU, man, he just had a phenomenal, like he had a crazy night, a really good night, man. Like I remember watching the Gauntlet drill because I think that's when he started. I think that's when he started. I was like, man, he just ran through that like nothing. He didn't drop it. I think he dropped one ball. It was like towards the end, but he ran through that gauntlet like nothing. I was like, who the heck is this guy, man? And then so I started keeping track of him, and then he just ended up having a phenomenal night. Every rep that he did was at full speed. And I would say his weakness is definitely the deep routes. He does not have that elite speed, and I think that's why he didn't run the 40-yard dash this at the combine. But his route running to mid to short is phenomenal. He has reliable hands, and it really showed at the combine. And then Bryce Ford Witten, Witten, Wheaton, Bryce Ford Wheaton. He's like 6'4". He ran a. What did he run? I think he went with the first group. Yeah, he went with the first group. What did he run? Oh man, I didn't keep track of it. I know he like ran like a 4.4. I want to say he ran a 4.4. Oh, what was the thing? Oh my god, they made it a big deal. He ran a 4.4. He had a broad jump or something like that. That was pretty impressive. But I don't remember what it was that they were saying, but only DK and Wooden or Woodley, not Woodley, the Seahawk corner, the rookie that they got, and DK Metcalf, both are like a few of like 5 guys in the past like 13 years or something like that to run a 40-yard dash of like a 4.4 and having a frame of like 6'4", you know. So a big body person running a 40-yard dash 4.4, you know. And that's what they're making a big deal out of it. And I was like, that's when I started keeping track of him. I believe he ran like a couple of routes. He didn't stay too long for the receiver route running. And yeah, that's what really impressed me is that he was just a big body guy, ran a 4.4, and yeah, that's what impressed me about him. And then Grant Debus, the guy, the guy looks like AJ Green. I'm not gonna cap, he really does. He has a solid all around good day at the combine, and for a guy that I think goes to a small school, is it Central Michigan? I don't know what school he goes to. But coming out of a small school, a guy that I didn't know into the draft, he did pretty solid. So yeah, he made this list for definitely a stock. And then Jacob Cumberland, the man had a solid athletic day. He ran a really fast 40-yard. Did I keep track? I don't think I did. He ran a really fast 40-yard dash. I think he was like four. It might have been 4.4. It might have been 4.5. But he's a big body guy as well. And he participated in the route running. He had an okay day at the route running position. You could definitely tell that some of the routes that they were running he wasn't comfortable with, but then he had some where he was like, yeah, I'm used to this, you know, running a slant, running a curl, running those big isolation ones where he uses the body to isolate a corner from the ball, you know, uses his body to just block out the corner. That's what I'm trying to say. Those type of plays. And yeah, so those are guys that you probably haven't heard of that had a really solid day on the day at the combine. All right, now we got tight ends. Man, there's just this guy named Washington who had an absolute phenomenal combine, dude. Had an absolute crazy catch. A crazy catch with one hand, and it was just crazy to see, dude. It really was. But him and Richardson are definitely the top prospects out of the combine that just went boom. You know, their draft stock just absolutely exploded, and in a good way. In a good way. Washington definitely had a really good receiving day, as shown with that one-handed catch. And then he ran for his 40. He ran a 4.6 for a guy that's absolutely huge. Has like a wingspan, absolutely crazy. Like his arms are down to his knees, and then his blocking, bro. His blocking is absolutely crazy, dude. And I keep saying absolutely because it's just absurd, absurd. I, it's just crazy how this man could is just built like that, dude. He's huge, long, and he's powerful, man. It's crazy. Like, how you gonna stop him, dude? The guy's blocking is crazy. Like, he moves people. He literally deletes people out of place. And on the sled, like, he wasn't even using his feet that much. He literally was just pushing that thing and just getting that thing out of the way. Where there's other guys at the tight end position, they were struggling. They were struggling to, push it out of the way. But they were doing like the technique proper, like Michael Myers, Meyer, what's his name? Michael Mayer. I keep saying Michael Myers, But Michael Mayer, his blocking was pretty solid. But let's go talk about him later. But compared to Washington, dude, Washington just absolutely moves people, and he just had a phenomenal combine, just like Richardson, man, just absolute freak, dude. And I'm gonna be honest, I would not want to line up against Washington, dude. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do against this man? Inside the red zone too. Like, what are you gonna do? And then Josh Wiley, man, Josh Wiley, he had a all-around great day. Ran a 40-yard dash, pretty solid for a big body tight end. His blocking on the sled was pretty solid. All the route running that they did, he was great in all of them. And then Zach, Zach from Old Dominican or Dominion, 6'7". He ran a 4.5, a 4.5. That's unofficial as well, but he ran a 4.5 for a 6'7" body, dude. The routes that they ran over there, he did great in all of them. Which one did he do okay? Uh, oh, the like red zone. He didn't really know how to. For a guy that's 6'7", he didn't really know how to, move around inside the red zone. He looked pretty. He just didn't know how. Like compared to all the other players, he looked kind of lost in the red zone. The fade drill that they do at the end. So that was like the only thing that he did okay at. But everything else, like all the the route running that they did, he did really good for being 6'7" and running a 4.5. Man, that's absolutely crazy. So he just popped out of nowhere, and then Sam, bro, Sam for Iowa. I mean, Iowa always builds. They're just a tight end machine. How do you say it? A factory. This is a tight end factory. That's what I. That's what I meant to say. They're a tight end factory. He, he's he's just great, dude. Like all these tight ends, like I didn't believe Daniel Jeremiah when he said this tight end group is like one of the best tight end groups that he's ever seen. He's not lying, bro. Like all these tight ends, legitimately, he was saying they're all first round pick, which is impossible. You literally can't have like just a limited amount of first rounders that could be selected, and it sucks. It really does. But all those guys right that participate at the tight end drills, dude, they all could be starters in the NFL, dude. That's how great they did, or phenomenal they did. They all could be starters in the NFL, and yeah, none of them had a bad day. But we're gonna move on to the next slide, and that's gonna be our stock down. And our stock down for our tight end is Michael Mayer. And the only reason why he has a stock down is because Washington had a phenomenal day at the combine, and so did the other guys at the combine. They had a good day, but if you watch Mayer's tape, his tape is just way better than all the other guys. He's just way better. Like he looks way better than all those other guys. But athletic wise, he ran a 4.7, and everybody legitimately ran like a 4.6. All those other tight ends minimum ran a 4.6, dude. So he's a little on the slower side, but that's legitimately the only reason why his stock went down is that he's no longer considered like one. Like he legitimately is number 2 or 3 now. Like you still have the Utah guy that he didn't participate in the combine. So did the Oregon State guy. The Oregon State guy didn't even participate in the that much. He did the 40-yard dash, and that was it. But the Oregon State, he didn't participate. The Utah guy didn't participate, and then you have the Georgia Washington, the big boy. He just went off. So that's the only reason why his stock went down. Because when he was out there, he did phenomenal in the combine. He really did. Like if you're his agent, you legitimately said you did good. He did great out there, but he just other guys did better, and this is where tape is more important than field workouts because they're literally in their underwear running routes where tape you're in your full gear running against you're running full speed in a live game. So to me that's where tape is better, but the combine is there to just prove that yeah, I'm legit. I could compete against the top athletes in the world. That's what the combine is to me. Michael Mayer is definitely still one of my guys. I have no doubt that he will be phenomenal in the league, but he did get a stock down. Nothing drastic or anything like that. Just crazy guys doing crazy things. A little bit better. That's it. Now D lineman. The D lineman. I'm gonna be. I didn't watch the running backs or O line, and I'm not good to evaluate O line. But I'm gonna be honest, the interior D linemen probably were the least exciting group, and that's just crazy to say because they had a phenomenal outing over there at the combine. But I think they are, dude. Like the tight ends, they all look really good. The receivers, they look really good. The quarterbacks, they look really good. And then the edge guys, the linebackers, maybe the linebackers are the weaker. Yeah, probably the linebackers can make a case for being in the weaker group. But Casey, man, he legitimately just did a 40-yard dash and he dipped after that, man. I don't think I did. I write it. Let me check. I don't think um what do you call it? I don't think I wrote down his like 10-yard split or anything like that, bro. What did he do? But it was absolutely crazy. Definitely, he was faster than Aaron Donald. His 10-yard split was like elite, elite, elite. It was big time. A big number for his 10-yard split. Faster than Aaron Donald was just crazy, 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 crazy. So his stock definitely is at an all-time high for beating Aaron Donald in a 40-yard dash and having a crazy 10-yard split. Because the 10-yard split for interior lineman is absolutely crazy. How are you gonna stop a guy super fast? Because the guards are usually not the most athletic guys. The tackles are becoming more athletic because of the speed of the edge rushers, but the the guards are the more the lower athletic type of players in the line. And when you have Casey in the middle, bro, it's just like he's just gonna outmaneuver the guard. It's just crazy. And then my second is Dexter from Florida. I was watching them. I was like, wait, I know this guy, dude. I remember watching some of his games, and yeah, he absolutely showed up at the combine. His power rushing, the pad hitting that he did was just really good. The movements. He just looked the more crisp, the more fluid guy out there. And then still from West Virginia. From West Virginia, I don't know. It's hard for me to remember, but I'm pretty sure he like it's like weird because I don't remember him looking like that at the combine. But I remember a West Virginia guy tearing up. Like he was super fast. He was faster than all the other guys, and he was just moving. Like he was just faster. And I was just like, what the heck? Who's this West Virginia guy? So I wrote down West Virginia still, and I was like, oh, I don't remember him looking like that. But it is what it is. He just was fast. And then Young from Alabama, he looked legit. The Alabama guys had a pretty good outing out there at the combine for the D line, and then the other guys the D linemen as well. They both had a solid night, but Young had a better one. His power moves were there, and again, Alabama's the top school, so they're definitely gonna be NFL ready. He just looked really good out there. And then Clemson, boy, Brian, Brian's one of the higher prospects out there. He had a really overall great night at the combine. His 40-yard dash was really good for a big boy like him, and that's really all I gotta say. He just did everything great over there. But Casey's the one that stole the show, for real. He did a 40-yard dash, and he was like, "All right, I'm out of here." I can't wait for his pro day. I don't even think he did bench or anything like that, so he did do all that as pro day, and that's gonna be the must see. We are at like 40 minutes. My voice is dying, but we're gonna push through it, and we're on to the D end. And Noah Smith, he's the big name that stole the show out at the combine. If he had, I want to say this is the last guy that was like a wow guy at the combine. So it was Noah Smith, Richardson, and Washington who stole the show. So two Georgia guys who stole the show at the combine. And Noah Smith, I think he legitimately just ran a 40-yard dash, and again he said, "I'm out of here," because that 40-yard dash was legit crazy. A man ran a 4.7, a 4.37, I think. A 4.37, a guy who's standing like 6'4", fucking huge ass man, absolutely crazy. Doesn't have like the I don't want to say tape, but like what do you call it? Like the numbers, the statistics. He doesn't have all that. But again, Georgia has so much talent that all these other guys are gonna eat. You know, the numbers are gonna be spread around. So that's probably why he don't have the numbers. But he's an overall great athlete, and his pro day is gonna be the day again that he's gonna perform. Will Anderson, he had a phenomenal night over there at Indiana. And there's nothing negative, legitimately nothing negative that I could say about Will Anderson. Great night. And then Kenny White. And I'm gonna be honest, this might be one of the stronger groups because Kenny White, he had a phenomenal night. He did everything at a high level. The only thing that he struggled with is pass coverage, but he's legitimately one of the guys that you just don't want dropping back in coverage. He's gonna be more of the guys that's gonna stay at the line, at the edge of the line, and contain his area, stop the run, rush the passer. He's to do all that stuff. And he looked like he, I don't want to say he looked like he could, but if he had to drop back in coverage, he probably could do it. But it's not something that you want him to do all the time. And then Will McDonald, man, he had a phenomenal night. A guy that's barely played the sport, and he tore it up. He literally just tore it up. He dropped back in coverage, and he was like, at the beginning, he looked, it looked foreign for him dropping back in coverage. And then he just got used to it real quick, and it just shows how fast he's a quick learner to like doing anything. Just crazy, absolutely phenomenal athlete on his at the 40-yard dash, he did pretty solid. Vertical, he did really good. I mean, what do you expect? The man's an athlete. And then Lucas Van Ness, hopefully I'm saying his name right. But the guy from Iowa, he's again a raw prospect. He's barely been playing the sport. Looked really good for a guy that's been very new to the sport. And that's all I gotta say. He's a raw prospect. Draft, draft and develop, draft and develop guy. Guy could be really good. All right, I'm trying to speed through these now. I'm trying to speed through these so I don't waste too much time for you guys. But guys that stock down, and I'm gonna the guy from USC, he's more of like a 3-4 you know. But compared to all the other guys, like the other guys just look more athletic. But he's a 3-4 so he's not gonna be like super athletic. He just needs to hold his gap and then rush the passer once in a while. So he doesn't need to do much. And then Myles Murphy to me got stocked down because again, all these other guys just did phenomenal at the combine. They just did phenomenal at the combine, and I really wanted to see Murphy go out there and run the 40-yard dash, and I want to see a 10-yard split, and I wanted to do the cone drill, but we didn't get to see that. We got to see all the other guys, and all the other guys did phenomenal at the combine. So that's the only reason why he gets stocked down. But all in all, he's still a really great player. He's still gonna be one of the top prospects in this draft class. Nothing affects him like personally or mentally. He's just waiting until his pro day. That's really it. And then Carter. Carter, I really he was out there. He legitimately was out there, and then he didn't do anything, which I was very disappointed in because when I saw him on the field, I was like, man, that guy's tall and skinny, man. What the heck is it? Like, who the heck is that guy? And I was like, oh, that's Carter, because Carter, he's tall and skinny. I was like, wow. But I didn't know he was that skinny, but that's crazy. So I wanted to see how he performed out there in the combine. He just didn't. He didn't do it. And I thought this is where he was a steal of show because he's from Army, and I thought he was just gonna go off at the combine, but he didn't. So we had to wait for his pro day, and that's a risk for him. He chose not to, or maybe he had injury or something like that. But he didn't go at the combine, and all these other guys performed. So yeah, and then Folsky, I'm probably saying his name wrong again. I don't know why I keep saying his name wrong, but he's one of my guys from Notre Dame. He had he's a guy that had a solid day at the combine, but yet he's on this list because everybody else had a great day at the combine. That's literally why he's on this list. He had a good day at the combine. Everybody else had a great day, and what he excelled at the combine was legitimately dropping back in coverage. He looked more comfortable than all the other guys out there and dropping back in coverage. So to me, that honestly improves his value because that shows that he's versatile. He could play outside, he could play inside. He could be like a Michael Parsons, like how he was at Penn State, and how the Cowboys are trying to use him now. Michael Parsons, how they're trying to use Michael Parsons. That's why I like Isaiah. And he's one of my guys. He only has stock down because he had a good day, where other guys had a great day. So he's still a great prospect, but he gets stock down. And then on to the linebackers, and I'm saying that this might be the weaker group at the combine, but the guy that stuck out to me was Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell did phenomenal in every single drill. I don't think there's a single drill out there that was literally was like, oh, okay, he did an okay job. He did great in every single drill. Definitely boosted his stock. And then, excuse me, Sanders, he did his thing. Guy from Arkansas, he did his thing out there. I just think Jack Campbell did a way better job over there. And then Harry Tua Tua. It's Toa Toa. He did phenomenal. His 40-yard dash was really good. Definitely a rangy linebacker. Same with Simpson, but I think Toa Toa did it way better than Simpson. And Simpson, again, a rangy linebacker. Very athletic guy. And the guy that stood out for me was the guy from Washington, Hunley. I'm probably saying his name wrong again. I apologize. But he did everything at a high level. He should be a really good linebacker. And then guys that I was very disappointed in at the combine was Noah Sewell. Is his name Sewell? I think it's Sewell. Noah Sewell. I mean, I didn't expect much from him at the combine, but I wanted him to do okay. But he didn't really do anything. I mean, you just had a feeling that he wasn't gonna do good. He's not a very athletic guy. He's one of the guys that's more of a run stuffer, and more natural feel for the game guy. So you just know that he wasn't gonna perform high at the combine, but you just have to watch his tape. He's more of a tape guy than a athletic guy. And then Dean Winters, I was coming off a TCU playoff berth and playoff run for TCU, I was expecting him to, and he actually did phenomenal in the Michigan game. I was expecting him to go off in the combine, and he just didn't. He didn't show up. I'm very sad to see that, but yeah. So it's a stock down for those two guys. And we're on to the DBs. The DBs, very stacked group again, a deep group of DBs. And my favorite one out of the combine was Christian Gonzalez. Man did everything at a high level and can make a case now of being number one, number two. He's up there. I wonder what the mocks have him, or the rankers. And yeah, after the combine. And the second one is Sidney Brown from. Oh man, where is he from? Where is he from? Oh my god, he's from Illinois, I think. I want to say Illinois. I want to say Iowa, but I think he's from Illinois. He he had a really good, a great night all around. He had, I think, the best bench out of DB, so that's very impressive. I just love his drill work, the backpedaling, all that stuff for him. He did great at. And then Jason Taylor, again, he's one of my guys. Had high expectations for him to go off in the combine. He did his thing out there, and he did. And Cam Smith, he had an okay night. And Ringo, he did his thing as well. Ringo did his thing at the combine, and yeah, that's all I got much to say about Cam Smith. Cam Smith had a good night, and then Ringo had a good night as well. It's really about Gonzalez and then Brown. Those two guys had a phenomenal night out there at the combine. Guys that didn't have a great night at the combine, Joey Porter. Joey Porter, he only did a 40-yard dash, and I'm gonna be honest, he probably should have just waited till his pro day. Just straight up wait for his pro day instead of doing the 40-yard dash, because his 40-yard dash wasn't that great. I think he ran like a 4.6, maybe like a mid to 4.6, or oh no, he ran a 4.4, 4.5. That's crazy. This is how fast guys are nowadays. That he wasn't really a great time. That's crazy. So he didn't run his 40 as up to par as everybody else. So that's why his stock is a drop, is a stock down. He should have waited for his pro day. Like, that's just all I gotta say. That he should have just waited for his pro day. And now, since Gonzalez and a bunch of other DBs are pretty solid, Witherspoon didn't participate either. So it's like Gonzalez literally is taking like the lead right now. So we have to wait for the pro day for those guys, for Porter and Witherspoon. And Jari Brown, another Penn State guy, he just didn't have. It wasn't his night over at the combine. Same as Jamie Robinson, was not his night. And then the guy I want to talk about is Branch, dude. I I was really hoping that Branch was gonna have a good night, which he honestly did. Like technically wise, like his backpedaling, his fluidity of you know of being a corner or being a DB was great, but just like he was moving slow than everybody else, and that's a problem to me, because if you look slow out there at the combine, then you're probably gonna be slow against the best athletes in the NFL. So that's worrisome to me. He did have a really good night at the combine. It's just he looks slower. That's all I gotta say about Branch. To be Now, DBs that you probably haven't heard of, or DBs to me that went off at the combine, and the guy that was most impressive to me was Riley Moss. And I remember watching one of the Iowa games, because I was like, oh, Iowa's playing, so I'm gonna watch it. And they might have been playing against Penn State, to be honest. And I was like, man, this guy, who is this guy? Number 33, man. He's doing pretty good. And then he gets hurt, dude. He gets hurt mid game. I was just like, what the heck, dude? He was doing so good, and then he got hurt. it was his knee, and that's why in this picture he's wearing a knee brace. I don't know if he was wearing a knee brace in that game, but he gets hurt, and I was like, man, that sucks, dude. But he went off. He really stood out at the combine. Definitely played fast, and he looked very fluid at the combine. And then Mitchell from Northwestern. This isn't like best to worst. This is literally like just whatever guys I had. But Mitchell, he looked really great out there. Had a phenomenal combine. And then Blackmon. Blackmon was legit a guy that him and Moss were literally guys that I was like, damn, these guys are doing really good. And Blackmon again was a Colorado corner, just like Christian Gonzalez was. So the chance will pull for Colorado, man. Feel bad for them, but hey, they got Sanders over there now. So Blackmon, he went to USC, and what I like about him is that he did great at the combine, and he's at USC. That means he's going against Anderson and all these other good receivers. So that's very, just be aware of that guy Blackmon. And then Scott coming off a great senior bowl game. He did phenomenal at the combine. Ran very good. Did the drills great. And yeah. And then the other guy that I was gonna write down, like I kid you not, what was it called? I was like, man, I was watching them and I was like, man, this guy looked pretty solid, but I wasn't really watching him that much. But every time I saw his name, I was like, hey, that guy's doing pretty solid. But his name was what was his name? El Ricks, I think his name was, from Alabama, I believe. And I seen a bunch of stuff about him. I was like, oh man, I literally should have watched him more from the combine. I kind of felt bad, but yeah, El Rick, shout out to him. He did pretty good at the combine as well, and his tape looks pretty good as well. And that's what the combine is, to just confirm, stuff in the tape, or hey, let me go watch this guy's tape. He looked really athletic out there, so let me go watch this guy's tape. And that's really all the combine does. And I hope y'all have. Oh, I have one more slide. Hold up. Alright, this is my outro slide from where we started. This video is gonna be extremely long, but again, this is like like a 4 day thing. It was linebackers, then it was DBs, and then receivers, and then running back. So yeah, but I didn't do running back, so it was like a 3 day. So this is just from 3 days of watching these guys go out there and ball out, and just putting it all into one video, and that's literally like an hour. And I'm not gonna edit because I don't have enough time like that right now. But in the months I will. So hope you all have a great day. Let me know who you think did a phenomenal job at the combine. And next video will probably be rankings. No, I need to make a free agent video. I have a free agent like thing set up, but I don't know how. I need to do a free agent video, and then I want to do my rankings video, because the rankings video could be wait a little longer, because free agent is legitimately good about to start next Tuesday. It starts next Tuesday, and yeah, it's gonna be a big free agent pool. What's gonna happen with Aaron Rodgers? Adam Thielen legitimately got cut right now. Derrick Henry's on the market. Everybody should have known that he was gonna be on the market if you know football. But yeah, I hope y'all have a really good day. I apologize for this video being super long, and I'm gonna make a video about free agency next time. I'll see you later.